This week we got the 5th through 8th grade boys, and we got a great turnout. It's the best numbers we've actually had so far. We got kids that are working hard. We're in the middle of doing some stations right now where we teach a lot of drills. So one of our main goals, we have really two main goals in our camps, is to number one, make sure they have a ton of fun, and number two, make sure they're learning things instead of we're not just playing knockout, we're not just playing nonsense games. But we want them to enjoy themselves. It's a summer camp. We want them to walk away with drills that they can do at home by themselves to get better for next year and be a better basketball player.
Now, Brian, I've known you for a long time. You kind of think out of the box when it comes to basketball training. Take us through some of these stations that might be different than the run-of-the-mill camp.
Sure. I mean, we do some standard stuff. You know, I'm a big proponent of stationary ball handling drills, whether it's 1 balls, 2 balls. But we also do a lot of work with cones. We do a lot of creative work. Whether it's combination one-on-one moves, whether it's different types of boxing out moves. So the bottom line is what we try to do is give the kids something that they haven't seen before, keep them on their toes, keep our coaches on our toes, keep it creative and fresh and new and exciting for everybody. But again, also drills that are effective and that are doing the job instead of just, you know, bells and whistles and nonsense just because it looks cool. These are drills that some of them do actually look pretty cool, but they're effective and they're exciting at the same time.
Take us through a typical day here. You get the kids here at 9, then what do you guys do?
Yeah, we do a stretch and warm up first. We do a lot of ball handling drills early, bang those out, get them out of the way. We go into stations, whether it's shooting, rebounding, defense, boxing out, a litany of basically basketball skills. Then we'll have a quick water break. We'll typically do you know, a few different contests that will test out the skills that they've just learned. So we like taking the things that we're teaching them and putting them right into use and saying, hey, this is where you can use the crossover. This is where you can use the inside out move. This is where you got to box out and then go after the basketball instead of vice versa. We played some games, some competitive games as well. Get them through lunch period, have them relax a little bit. We do some more drill work, include some more contests and some games to wrap up, and we'll throw some neat nuggets in there. We'll have a coach's shooting contest. We got a coach's dunk contest, obviously on the smaller rims for some of these guys. So we have a great time. Always good.
Yeah, talk about, just to elaborate, you said that you learned some skills that they can use outside of here. Because obviously you're not going to become a good player for being here 4 days. You'll become a good player from what you learn here and apply it to yourself.
Correct. If you just take what you're learning and do nothing with it, then it's just a fun week at camp. But our goal is to have a fun week at camp, a memorable week at camp, have the kids forge some new relationships as well, but become better basketball players. So a lot of the things that we give them are things that they can do on their own or even with one partner. You know, it's not a ton of team drills because you can't practice that solo on your own. And to become, anyone will tell you, any good basketball player, any great basketball player will tell you, you have to do work on your own in the summertime. And so you need the tools and the drills to be able to accomplish that. And that's one of the things we try to do is give them those tools, give them those drills, give them the mentality on how you get from point A to point B to point C to point D and really maximize the potential that you have.
You mentioned before coaches, you got some people, recognizable names here. Just tell everyone who's helping you out this week.
Yeah, we got Zach Frick, who's always been around, who's a Sparta graduate, 1,200-point scorer, becoming a very, very outstanding player at William Patterson, coming up on his senior year. We got some high school kids this year. John McCluskey just finished up a great year at Hopakon. We got Jason Zellner, Kittatinny, Jay Keller at Newton, and we got a couple that are kind of coming and going 1 day, 2 days here. So, you know, these guys do a great job. They're very interactive with the kids. They're very knowledgeable about the drills that they're teaching. So they just like giving back as well because they were campers at one point and now they get to kind of turn the tables and give the knowledge back that they've been learning all their lives also.
And obviously this isn't just a 1 week thing for you. You have stuff go out through the whole year. Let's talk about, you have a possible special guest coming in August. We'll talk about that, and if people want to get more info about what you do.
Yeah, we're pumped about this. I've never done this before because I'm not a big fan of bringing in big time names because it's a kind of grab and dash type of thing a lot of the times where they're just coming in, saying hi and leaving. But we've got Kenny Anderson coming in. For those of you guys that are a little bit older, Kenny Anderson, former one of the best point guards ever to come out of New York City in the 1980s heyday. You got an All-American at Georgia Tech of the famed Lethal Weapon 3 with Dennis Scott and Brian Oliver, and then he was with the Nets for a good portion of his career and an NBA All-Star. So as a smaller point guard, I always gravitated towards a guy like Kenny Anderson. I actually still have his jersey from the early 90s that I wear, which is pretty interesting. But we've got him coming in on August the 13th. He's going to do a clinic for first through college players. We're going to break it up. And we've also got a separate meet and greet as well if you just want to come by and say hello to Kenny. So we're very excited about that. You can go to BrianThomasBasketball.com, and there's a Kenny Anderson link on there. It's going to have all the information on there. So if you want to learn from an NBA All-Star, you want to get a chance to chat briefly with an NBA All-Star, August 13th, which is a Saturday, it'll be right here at the Sparta PAL building. And we're pumped. I'm just looking forward to hearing some stories from Kenny and watch him interact with a lot of the kids.